Are we recording?
Are you asking me if we're supposed to be recording or are we recording?
Are we recording?
I think we're supposed to be. I don't know if we are.
We're live. I did a triple check.
What'd you just do? A cartwheel into the bushes?
Yes, dude. It's these little, like, those dark brown things with the burrs. Bring us in.
It reminds me of pheasant hunting with Dad when I was little. Guys, welcome back to the Hushlife podcast episode. I have no idea. I think we quit doing that a long time ago because we're to a point where we have lots of episodes. More episodes than we've ever had, obviously. We're continually doing them. Coming at you from a special place. This is the first one I've recorded video with you outside of the shop. We're trying to become, I hate saying this every time, but hopefully you guys are enjoying the podcast. We're trying to take it to a next level. Videography is on point, or it should be. We'll get into that later. But we're coming at you from my 2023 once-in-a-lifetime moose hunt in Idaho. So if you guys are not from Idaho or most western states, I'll explain to you that in all western states besides Alaska, you get one chance at hunting moose and goats and sheep. So the way that Idaho works is there's no preference points or anything like that. You just put in every year, and you have to choose. Every year the draws come out. You can either put in for once-in-a-lifetime options, which are moose, sheep, goat, or you can put in for your regular hunts like elk, deer, antelope. And so this year I opted to put in for a moose hunt, a once-in-a-lifetime moose hunt. So it's not once-in-a-lifetime hunt if you draw a moose tag in Idaho, and the seasons are very long. It's almost 3 months long, so it starts August 30th, goes till November 23rd. You can hunt that whole season. If you don't end up killing one, you choose to pass or whatever it might be, you can turn the tag back in at the end of the season. And then I don't know exactly how it works, but you can then apply again in a couple years. So you have one chance to shoot a moose. You can shoot one moose in the state of Idaho in your lifetime. And I was fortunate enough this year to, I decided to put in for moose, which I usually don't. And I drew a tag in a unit that I feel like is on the up, or I've just seen a lot of good bulls in this unit over the years. And so I drew a tag back in like May, and I kind of focused my whole season around this hunt.
Yeah. You really put in the hours, the man hours, the scouting, and you wanted to do it it's an any weapon hunt, but you wanted to do it with your bow, and I think you have your reasons why you did that, but I think that's rad. Yeah,
so it's any legal weapon, so you could use a rifle, muzzleloader, archery equipment.
A pistol,
I think. I don't know for sure, but yeah, you can kind of pick and choose, and you can use those. It's not like archery's this time. It's just the whole 3 months you can use whatever you want. And there's very limited tags. So this unit we're in is, I don't know how many square miles. It's giant. But there's, I believe, 8 tags this year for moose. And when I drew it, I was super excited. Back in the early 90s, my father, Mr. Carl, shout out Dad.
Hey, Dad.
He drew a moose tag, and not the same unit, and a unit close by, but I remember he was always a big archery elk hunter. He hunted elk every year with his bow, and he drew a moose tag finally, and he committed to shooting his moose with a bow, and I thought, and he finally did it, and it was super cool. He killed his bull like in mid-September, I believe. And I remember him driving home. Back then we didn't have cell phones, so we didn't know if he was successful or not, but he drove home. We were headed out to like a soccer game, and I remember passing Dad in the neighborhood, and I was like, Dad's home, turn around, Mom. So we went back, and he'd killed a bull with his bow, and I thought that was the coolest thing ever. I thought, we saw a lot of moose growing up, hunting elk, fishing, whatever. There's a lot of moose in Idaho, but I just thought it was so cool that he committed to hunting moose with his bow, and it stuck with me. And so when I drew this tag, I was like, I want to kill one with my bow, just like Dad did back in the early 90s, 30 plus years ago. And so when I drew this tag, I committed to, unfortunately for us, we have a lot of time to go and scout, but man, I've poured some time into this unit in the last couple months, and it's been awesome because I've been able to include my family on it. I've been taking my boys out to set trail cams, go glass. My good buddies have been with me, And to me, that's what a hunt is. The hunt's awesome when it opens, but like the pre-scouting is what I've always loved about hunts. And it's funny because the longer we do this, the more I realize we do that less.
Yeah.
My favorite part of hunting before I ever started the Hush channel was going out in the early months of June, July, August, and just scouting.
Well, I think it just always feels like we have so many schedules to align and hunts to do, and it's not a lack of effort by any means. I just think the average man draws one, maybe two tags, has one or two tags in his pocket a year, and he says, this is my time.
This is what I'm going to pour my time into, my extra time, my heart and soul into.
And that's what you used to do all the time before all this.
Yeah, and it was mostly scouting for, just really, really like over-the-counter tags. If it was Idaho or Utah, like I would have an elk tag in my pocket for Idaho or a deer tag in my pocket for Utah, but I would take it as like this is my one or two hunt for the year, and I'm going to just go pour my time into it early because I enjoyed it. I enjoyed getting out, using the glass, watching animals, trying to make a game plan for opening morning. And then the more we've got into it, there's so many moving pieces to our business now that it's not hard to get away. It's just you pick and choose your time just like anybody else does of what you want to spend your time doing. And, I've got 4 kids that are doing 100 million different things, and I really love pouring my time into that, because that really satisfies me at the end of the day, is watching my kids grow and progress throughout whatever they're doing. But making time is just a choice, in my opinion. You can do 100 different things, but if you choose to spend your time, a little bit of time just going out and scouting, like that's your choice, instead of, sitting on your phone or whatever it might be. But I really made a point this year, after I drew the moose tag, I was like, I'm going to go set a bunch of trail cams. I'm going to go in glass. I'm going to take my boys with me. I'm going to use the Can-Ams. I'm going to get away and look for critters, and mostly moose critters. And so, I've spent quite a bit of time doing it, and it was awesome. It was fun. I love that part of it. But here we are. Today was opening day. And we always say you only get so many of them.
That's a coined phrase. How much are we trying to give the listener?
I don't know. I was going to quiz you about that. I think we just talk about it.
Yeah.
You okay with that?
Not really, but yeah.
So
break them down. Break down. So you got the tag.
You want me to break dance?
I want you to spin on your head.
Okay. Hold on.
If you guys aren't enjoying the video experience on the YouTube, if it's not mentioned already, we got Casey, who is the tag holder, and then Logan, who is the cameraman, and we're coming at you live from the field. Like Casey said, he had moose tag, spent a lot of time scouting, and just break it down for the folks.
So it is, what time is it? 7 o'clock? 6:42. So opening day was today, which is cool in itself. Every archery tag, over-the-counter archery tag that you get in the state of Idaho has started August 30th for as long as I can remember, 30 plus years. So today was not only the opener of controlled hunts for moose, but it was the opener for archery deer, archery elk, which, I grew up spending most of my time doing one of those two things. So today is a special day, and it's a day that I've marked on my calendar since I was old enough to have a calendar. Yeah. Is there an age limit to have a calendar?
No, I don't think so.
So
makes a good gift.
Like 2 years old, I guess. I don't know. But today is a special day. It's a day that I've looked forward to all my life. And I was just fortunate enough this year to have a moose tag. And if you've ever moose hunted, especially in the western United States, besides Alaska, I'm leaving Alaska out because Yukon moose are a little different. But Shiars moose, that, like, even though the season opened today, like, moose hunting gets really good at, like, I would say third week of September, moving into first part of October.
Getting good meaning the rut.
The rut. Bulls are starting to do bull things.
Yeah.
Cows are starting to come into estrus, just like kind of like elk. Like back in the day when we were hunting over-the-counter archery elk tags every year, September 15th was the day we'd mark on our calendar. I keep talking about calendars. Like, but they were a big deal back then.
Yeah, I guess.
Not just like notifications on your phone. But similar to the archery or to the rut of elk in September 15th, moose start rutting a little bit later than that, like 3rd to 4th week of September, moving into the first part of October. So, you know, we have a phrase, opening day, you have so many of them. You only have so many of them. I thought, you know, we need to be out no matter what.
Yeah. You got it. What you said to me is like, I would like to be out there with a bow in my hand out there, even knowing we have till past Thanksgiving to get this done.
Yeah. And especially with the weather, which it seems is very typical for the last so many years. It's super hot. It feels like summer still.
Yeah.
You know, it was 90 degrees when we left town yesterday. And so to go out with the idea of to moose hunt, it seems kind of ridiculous.
Still in full velvet, usually, like most all of them.
So if you look at the elk rut, just put the moose rut like 2 weeks behind that. So if elk start ripping their velvet off, you know, mid-August, I would put moose ripping their velvet off like end of the first week to second week of September.
Yeah, it's accurate.
So, but you know, I spent a lot of time out putting out stealth cams, glassing, trying to find a bull that, you know, I wanted to have something found that was hitting water because it was so warm. I wanted to have something found, a big moose that got me excited that I could go and hunt opening day. And, you know, for whatever reason, it just didn't happen. I just didn't have a big mature bull on any of my cameras. I hadn't heard about one. I hadn't seen one. And so coming out here is kind of like fortuitous in a way just because we're out, but I didn't really know what to expect. And honestly, I didn't have an area like I was, you know, marking on my Onyx like this is where we're going. I remember telling Logan like 5 days ago, he's like, what's the plan? I'm like, I don't know. I want to be out. Maybe we'll just go backpack in some country I've never been in.
Just kind of explore a little bit.
Yeah, explore the unit. And that's what was really exciting to me about drawing this tag. We hunt deer in this unit. I've hunted elk in this unit. And so having a moose tag in my pocket, I was like, well, let's go explore this unit even further than we have in the past and learn some new things.
Yeah.
Because I think that's super cool about being able to hunt a unit every year. And Idaho is great for that, for residents, is I could buy a tag in this unit every year for elk or deer. And I think the more knowledge you have over the years of the unit, then the more success you're going to find.
Right. But the better you're going to know that unit, the better you're going to know the animals in that unit.
Yeah, and so I didn't know exactly where to go. I just was like, I don't know, maybe we'll just go backpack for 3 or 4 days and figure out a new part of the unit we've never been in. And then I had a really good buddy of mine who reached out probably like 4 or 5 days ago and sent me a video. Well, here, actually going back, I was in Alaska from like August 14th till August 23rd. I took my son up there. I went with my good buddy Trent from Born and Raised. He took his daughter Hudson up there. We were gone for like 10 days out of service. And when I got back into service, I just got hit up with all these like pictures and videos and texts from like different people I know that live around here. And we're just like, hey man, you got to go check this moose out. But my one really good buddy, Wasey, very similar to Casey, I feel like he's probably more dialed on Shiars moose than anybody else I know. And he was telling me about a moose that he had seen and I should probably go lay my eyes on.
Yeah.
And that was right when I got back from Alaska. And I told him, I'm like, man, I think 3 or 4 other people hit me up about this moose. Anyway, he explained to me where he was at and what he thought about him. When I saw the pictures, I was like, dang, that's a big Shiars moose. But for whatever reason, I don't know, like if it's because what I do for a living or, you know, I'm just stubborn. I don't know what it was, but he told me where he's at. And I'm like, sent me the pictures, the video, and I was like, dang, that's a big bull. But for whatever reason, I just like always envision anytime anything happens in my life and I'm planning for something, I always have to envision how that's going to happen.
Yeah.
If it's a hunt, if it's a trip with my family, whatever it is, I always try to envision that, like see what that's going to be like and try to plan the best I can around that, my vision. And when he told me about this moose and where he's at, I just never had envisioned that's how this hunt was going to go down.
Sure, yeah.
For whatever reason.
And I would say even more on top of that, you have the added stress, the added weight of this is my once in a lifetime chance.
Yeah.
You know, and I think that's a tremendous added weight.
I think the text I even sent him was, I said, man, I think a lot of guys draw once in a lifetime tags and they have a couple different perceptions on how that's going to go. It's either, I think most guys are super pumped that they drew a once in a lifetime tag, if it's for moose, sheep, goat, whatever, and they're willing to shoot a good moose wherever, whenever, like that's just their plan, and that's awesome. I think other guys look at it like that's their one chance to hunt, so like they need to kill something and fill that tag because it's the only time chance they're gonna have.
Yeah.
And then I'm sitting here like, well, I didn't envision my once in a lifetime hunt going down like that, and I don't know what you would call that. Just being...
Well, I would say that, and on top of, like, this is the job, right? This is what we do. And so you know that you have more time than most guys, yeah.
I guess that's how I viewed it going into it when I drew it. I was like, oh, man, like, I'm planning my season around it. Like, nothing's going to, like, corrupt that 2.5, 3 months I have to do it. I'm going to make this, like, the coolest film of all time and really tell a story. And that's what we're always trying to do is tell it the best story we possibly can about any experience we go on. If it's a over-the-counter archery elk hunt or a deer hunt or it's a draw tag or whatever it might be, we're always trying to tell the best story. In my head, that's always what I'm thinking about is like, how can we really tell a story that will hopefully like inspire you guys to go out and do it, or like you guys can relate to it because you've hunted, you know, that unit or that area or that animal, whatever it might be. And so I guess I was envisioning this thing being, you know, a month-long hunt and just going out and hunting for a couple days and just making this giant film. And then when he sent me this video, I was like, dude, that's a giant Shiars moose. It's no, like, slam dunk by any means, but I don't know. I was just thinking, like, I don't know what I was thinking. I was just thinking I wanted to spend more time. I don't know. Like, every guy should go out wanting to fill their tag opening day, finding success super early, I guess. But I was like, oh, that might not be in my program. I don't know. And I started sending the video to the guys, Logan and Brian, Eric and Matt, and they're like, dude, you should go.
That's a no-brainer shooter.
You should go hunt that thing.
I like, and you know me, I mean, I like to be successful. I like to get blood on the hands, like, but I can respect the fact that, and we say it in occasion, is you want to get your money's worth. This is, you know, this is your chance. You want to experience. I think you brought up like you were able to take your boys out scouting and stuff, but you're like, man, it might be cool if my boys were there, or man, it might be cool if dad could come out and camp for a night. Like, you have all this added mixture of emotion on top of there's a giant shooter bull that's open for you opening day.
Yeah, and the other thing about it is, this is, like we were talking about, this is an any legal weapon hunt, and I chose to do it with my bow. And so, you know, where this moose was at was, you know, if guys are spending any sort of time that have drawn this tag, they might have crossed paths with this moose, or they might have heard about this moose from somebody else. And so to me, I was like, I hate the competition side of hunting. I don't ever want to compete and be like, well, I got to the animal first, or I got here first. I hate that part of it. I just want to go and spend my time in the woods with the people I love and you know, find my passions and my experiences doing what I want to do and not feeling rushed. And so I thought, man, I just don't want to get caught up in this rat race of going out and trying to be the first guy there and killing it before anybody else does, because I'm using a bow and literally somebody could show up and shoot it with a rifle. And so, like, again, like that vision I had of when I drew this tag, I just wanted to make it like this cool experience where I go out and hunt, you know, with my boys, Logan, my dad, maybe, like bring people in and this long drawn out thing. And I feel like that sometimes can be like a hindrance of telling a story, because what we're always trying to do is relate to you guys. Just like relate, like, hey, we're hunting this, which you guys have numerous times. And I don't know the last time I killed something opening day.
Yeah.
I don't know if I've ever done that on the Hush channel, to be honest. Maybe an antelope or something. But it happens. people find success opening morning, when they spend their time out scouting and all that stuff. And so I don't know why that was like a thing in my head. I was like, well, what if I do kill it opening day? Well, then what? How will we tell that story? That's the story. That's what we always say is like, just people always ask like, how long do you want to make like your every video? I'm like, we make it as long as it needs to be to tell the story. If it's a 10-day hunt, it might be an hour long. If it's a 2-day hunt, it might be 30 minutes.
Yeah.
But it happens. People kill stuff opening day. They find success opening morning. And so finally, you know, people, some close friends, Logie, BMAC, Eric, my buddy Jared, my buddy Wasey, talked some sense in me and was like, dude, you have to go out and hunt that thing opening morning. And I'm like, I told Logan, I said, or Logan said, he goes, let's just go out there the day before.
Let's get close.
Let's get close and see what happens and see what you think.
Thinking in my head, let's get as close as we can and let my salesman come in and really try to sell you to kill that bull.
That's the crazy thing about this business. As a cameraman, you know, the biggest thing for a cameraman is they want to tell the story, but they really want to capture like the moment, the moments of us finding success and us killing an animal. That's, to them, that's their job, right? Like, that's why we brought them on. So Logan and Matt, we give them a hard time, but Logan has done this over the years. It's like, I'll be like, I don't know about that. He's not big enough. He's like, well, I don't know, man. Like, he's a good one.
It's good lighting.
It's good lighting.
We could get in there and make a clean kill.
What's crazy about it is it's definitely a team. We're a team, man. Like, we all have jobs. Like, my job is, if I have the tag, I'm the shooter. You know, if you're the shooter, you're responsible for finding the area, finding the animal. And then if you have a camera guy, like his job is to just capture the story, capture the moments. And so I finally was convinced. I was like, all right, I have no other options. I don't have an area, like I don't have a moose pegged down. Let's just go out and see what this thing is. Let's go see like the situation and how we feel about it. And so we drove out yesterday, the day before the opener, brought the old JJ with me, and plan was to just come out and see if we could find this bull that I'd heard about, that my buddy had told about. And it's, again, like, you hear about a moose or hear about an elk or a deer in a certain area, it sometimes turns into a wild goose chase. Like, maybe somebody had saw it earlier this summer and told a friend about it, and then you get the story and you're like, we've been on many of them where they don't pan out, where it's just like, I don't know where that guy's at.
I think, like, to me too, that was kind of the fun of this morning and last night and coming out to this spot was like the word on the streets that big bull's here, and us coming out. And so we came out, like Casey said, a day early, and it was like, all right, Casey kept telling me, he's like, we got to find the bull to hunt the bull. We got to find him. And the first few hours, like, no luck finding any moose out here. But as soon as that switch hit, Casey glassed up a cow, and then in the other direction, a cow and a calf. And in my head, I'm like, that bull is here somewhere. And then it was just like this excitement building, like exploring this area. And we got to a point in the truck where we were getting out to go check this spot in circumference of where this bull was last seen. And Casey was out ahead, and I was getting my camera stuff together, kind of like filming, walking in and stuff. And Casey turned around, and that moment last night when you looked at me and you're like, I got him. That to me was like, this is awesome.
Yeah. And it did. As soon as we got out here, I'm like, all right, this is going to be way tougher than I thought. You know, and I didn't think it was like a canned hunt by any means. Like, coming out here again, like, it could be a wild goose chase, and we've been on a lot of them. I just wanted to make sure I was going to feel good about, like, okay, we got to find this thing. I tell my kids this all the time. I always tell Gage when he's not glassing and I'm glassing, I'm like, Gage, what do we have to do before we can kill one? He'd be like, find one. He'll start glassing. So that, and to me, that's my favorite part, is just sitting behind the vortex, finding a target, right? And then you can actually go and put your hunting skills to the test and go and hunt them and make a plan and all that. And so first 3-4 hours out here, I was just like, man, I don't know, this is tough. And then we saw a cow and a calf in the water, and then I saw another cow, and I was just like, all right, there's moose here. There's a reason. Like, once we got out here, I was like, there's a reason the moose are here. This is like moose paradise. And we drove around, glass here, glass there, looking, where my buddy saw him, like, blah, blah, blah. And finally, we just kind of, like, went on this little side road that I was just like, let's just go look. I feel like there could be moose in here. And Logan's like, dude, I just want to walk through this stuff. And so we finally found him, and I was like, game on, man.
It's so fun to see, like, it's like all those things come together. And in that moment, too, wouldn't you agree that, like, when we got scope on him, got the all-in, starting filming him, zooming in, everything felt right?
Oh, yeah.
Didn't it feel so right to, like, see him? And there was almost those doubts just kind of, like, went away.
Yeah, it just felt like it was meant to be, like, when we only spent a few hours out here with, nothing. And then when you see him and get the all-in scope on him or the all-in digi-scope on him and you start filming him, you're like, oh, wow.
I think we both agreed that he looked bigger in person.
He was definitely the biggest Shiars moose I can ever remember seeing myself. I've seen some mounts that might be a little bit bigger. I've seen pictures on the internet, but I've seen a lot of Shiars moose in my life, and I've seen some really good ones. And when I saw him for the first time and really put the all-in snapshot system on him, I was like, wow, he's
pregnant Clydesdale. Like, his antlers, impressive, old, mature bull. But, dude, it was cool to see, like, after that winter we had, to see the belly on that thing, the neck. Like, his retirement plan was working out pretty well.
He looked like, some people say a horse, but he looked like a range cow just because he was so fat. And if you've seen a lot of range cows, like beef cattle, they're just, bodies are fat. They got a big old gut on them. But I was like, it's a beef cow with long legs and really nice antlers on his head.
And it is cool seeing him next to these other bulls. Like, you could just tell he was that upper echelon, that older class where he had seen a few things. Like, it was cool seeing him next to these other bulls, seeing that he's bigger. And he was the only bull out there with a wattle that had been gone. Like, he showed characteristics
signs of age,
class of, this is my territory. I've been here for a while. I'm an old bull.
Body's bigger, antlers bigger, no wattles, so a moose will have a wattle. And we still don't know why they have wattles, but they have wattles. And when they don't have them, it's either they're really young, like calves, or they don't have wattles because they're really old and they've actually froze off in the winter. And so we were looking at 4 or 5 different bulls. He was the only one that didn't have a wattle, and he just had that look to him, just like,
he was owning it, man.
He's seen some seasons come and go.
Yeah.
And so I'm going to back him. I'm not going to tell the whole story. I'm going to tell most of the story.
Thank you.
Because I can't wait for you guys to watch this video when it comes out. But so we found the bull, and immediately it's like, all right, we're hunting that bull. That's a stud bull. It's an absolute gorgeous area to hunt moose. It honestly looks like parts of Alaska in the middle of Idaho. And there's just a reason why there's moose here. It's a moose haven. And so when we saw him, we were like, all right, game on. I felt good about it. I was like, we're hunting that bull. And the thing is, like, we saw him last night. The problem is I had no previous history, like what they do in the morning. That's what I always try to figure out, is what they do at night, what they do in the morning. If I know those two things, I can kind of figure out exactly my game plan to go and hunt these animals. Well, I didn't know anything about what they do in the morning. I just know what they do at night, seeing what I saw last night. And so the big thing going to bed last night was like, all right, here's my game plan. I just kind of showed Logan on Onyx, like, where I think we need to be, where I think that moose came out at, but who knows what's going to happen. Where he ends up tonight, I don't know. There's 1,000 things that could happen. So we went to bed with a pretty good game plan, a time to wake up, and I could not sleep, obviously. We're camped out here, like, honestly, probably less than 1,000 yards from where we saw the moose. And we went to bed, good time, like 10:30. Our plan was to wake up about 5:30. First shooting light was 6:21 this morning. And then we were just kind of going to work our way there. But I kept waking up, and I noticed it was a freaking full moon last night, and it was so bright. And so I woke up the first time at like 2:30, and I thought I'd miss, like, my alarm.
Yeah. To be honest, I had a white sound playing on my phone. Casey didn't vibe with that. Puts
so
me out like
dumb.
a baby. It is so dumb because we're in nature. We are hearing coyotes, ducks, geese.
We're in the jumping jack, which
probably moose grunting.
It's hot. We have all the windows unzipped. You can hear nature, like, literally right next to a lake that has fish jumping. we heard all this stuff before bed, and then Logan goes, dude, I have this sound on my phone that will push right to bed. I'm like, all right, sweet. I need to get some sleep. He puts this dumb sound on.
I blame BMAC for this.
And it just like took away all the ambient sound of nature.
You just hear this low.
I don't know what that thing is called, but that's obnoxious.
Brian would always play Ocean Waves when we were out, and it just made me sleep like a baby. But Casey woke up. I would say you were irate, but sleepy irate.
Yeah, I was trying not to be rude, but
you were making moves towards my phone, and it woke me up. And when I looked at the windows, I'm like, oh shoot, we slept. It's like got to be 5:36.
So I woke up at 2:30, came out and peed, and then went laid back down. I was thinking, I was like, man, it's so bright with this full moon. I think no cloud in the sky. I'm like, dude, I think I could glass fairly well. Like, I think I glassed like 500, 600 yards. So I laid back down, and then I woke up again at like 4. And I was just like, I felt good, like, okay, that's all the sleep I need. And I started thinking about it. I'm like, I'm going to go sit in the back of my truck and try to glass this moose up. Because that was the biggest question, is where is he going to be in the morning?
Might as well use that to our advantage, like you were saying.
And so you guys have to understand, like, there's 7 other tag holders in this unit that have moose tags, and it's an illegal weapon hunt. And so you can use a rifle right now, you could use a bow, whatever it might be. And so in the back of my head, I'm like, somebody else had to have seen this thing or known about this thing, and they're going to roll in here tomorrow morning, and they're going to try to kill it, at 400 or 500 yards with a rifle. So I kept telling Logan, I'm like, we just have to be close to that moose first thing in the morning. And so I finally woke up at 4, and I'm like, I just got to go and see. And I sat on the back of my truck and put my binos on my outdoorsman tripod, and I started like scanning where he was at. And all of a sudden I was like, I wasn't 100% confident because it was light enough I could see, but I wasn't like I could see time length or paddles or anything, but I was pretty sure. And I walked back in, I go, Logan, I got him. He's like, what? And I'm like, I think I can see the moose.
It's a pretty good thing to wake up to.
He's like, no way. And he's like, what should we do? I'm like, dude, let's start planning. Like, let's get up, get dressed right now, go outside. Glass. The moon was headed down behind the mountain, so we were going to lose a little light before the sun came up. And we got in the back of the truck, and Logan has a little trick he does with his all-in system where he puts it on the spotting scope, puts it on photo mode, turns up the brightness, and you can actually see even
better with your eyes than your eyes.
Than with your eyes. And so he took a picture, and he showed it to me. I'm like, it looks like 2 black blobs, dude. I don't know.
But I'm like, in my head, I'm like, that's a bull moose.
Yeah.
That is a bull moose. And since they were so congregated together last night, that if it's not the big bull, he's there close.
So we weren't going to leave until like 6. Shooting light was 6:21. We wanted to try to like get eyes on him before we made a move. But when I got up and I thought he was right there in the same spot, I'm like, let's do the plan we had. Because I think he's right there. Let's just do it quicker. Let's do it now.
Bump it up earlier. And
so we started hiking out about 4:45, 5.
You're right at like, my first phone clip was like, when we got to the first spot was at 4:50.
So we started hiking out with a game plan, with an assurance of our game plan is what I would say. We had the game plan last night, and then waking up and seeing the moose there, and we were like, okay, that's our game plan's dialed. And so we started working ourselves over there, and I'm gonna kind of hold back a little bit, but I was so glad that people talked some sense into me, because we had an absolute phenomenal morning of hunting moose. We were in moose. We were in their bedrooms. Like, everywhere we went, we were just like, man, this is like moose country.
It was
marshes and it
willows
looks
5 feet over your head, thicker than.
It looks almost like a planted alfalfa field, but it's just the high water mark of a reservoir.
That fertile reservoir soil and it's beautiful green grasses.
I don't even know what the plant's called, but it's just absolutely. It looks like alfalfa, but it's gorgeous. Then you hit the creeks. There's a few of them. They're with giant tall willows and big old trees, and you're just like, no wonder these moose are in here.
Right.
And so we made a couple plays, and I kept telling Logan, I really think this is the key to being successful hunting, is you got to find the animals first. You got to be able to glass them up, know where they're at. And then there's a lot of important decisions, or a lot of good decisions that need to happen in order to put yourself in a position to be successful. And I told Logan, I said, we got him. We know he's still here. Hopefully he's still here tomorrow. But that we have a lot of decisions we have to make that we're not going to know if they're right or wrong until we can look back and say like, that was the right decision. And fortunately for us, this morning we made a lot of good decisions, and it put us in a position to do some things.
Yeah. Can I say this?
I think so. You guys are going to watch the video here shortly, and it's going to be amazing. But Logan, we had one of the best days in the woods, but Logan is on a very low spot. And that we always talk about the roller coaster. he's on a very low spot right now.
Yeah.
So talk about it.
Okay, you cut me off if I'm revealing too much.
No, you talk about it.
Okay, so most epic thing ever. You know, we got this rumor bull. Seen videos of him. He's giant. Get out here. Lay eyes on him. We now have our target. We have a pretty good game plan. Casey wakes me up at 4 with the words of, "I got him," in my scopes. Go out. Sure enough, we don't know if it's him, but there's moose right there. We hike closer. More visual. Yeah, there's multiple moose there. We get on the chessboard, and we're with the moose. And some things lined up perfectly. We get on the big bull, and lots of really good footage of that bull. Just really caught up in how magical that moment was. And let's just say that we were able to position ourselves for success and opportunity. Preparation aligned perfectly, right in that heart of the X. And this is my 6th year doing this now. I bet you I've filmed 50 animals, you know, and I've never really had, knock on wood, I've never really had a hiccup in that video process. I've always been able to really hone in, almost putting myself in the shooter position, but behind the camera and really focusing on my media, like being able to make split-second decisions, like, all right, I got to flip to manual focus, rack in because I have these branches in my way that might throw the autofocus off. I've been able to, like, all right, I got to switch down to lower frame rate. And I've almost developed this is the first trip I've ever noticed this cockiness where I'm like, in my head, how everything lined up and being able to foresee what's going to happen in the next minute. This is a canned film. I got this thing. Like, thinking in your head almost like, I wonder how my brother's going to mount this bull. Like, I've got settings dialed, batteries at 98% still, seeing 2 hours on the card, got backups in my backpack, like, psh, I go, and in my mind, the thought process is everything's lining up. So what else can I do to help this situation? Hey, Case, toss me the rangefinder. I'm going to range for you, dude.
Which has never happened before.
Let me be. Don't even worry about anything but putting that pin on the heart and leveling your bubble, dude. I got your range and I got the film. And I don't know where the heck this cockiness came from. Maybe it's just this is my 6th year doing it.
It's deserved.
I've filmed a lot of really good clutch last second shot moments.
If you guys have watched over the years, like one of the hardest parts, and I don't think this is talked about enough, but if you're going to do this, if you're going to film anything for a living, if you're going to film, make a YouTube channel and film sports or film ballerina or film hunting, like capturing the moments is all of it. Like that's the biggest thing. Like you have to be able to capture the moments. And hunting is very difficult because it's not like a routine. It's not a game where you just, go back and forth with the camera. Like
it's a game of unknown and surprises.
It's unpredictable. You can't ever predict how a hunt's going to go down. You can't ever predict, even if you know an elk's coming in, you can't ever predict where he's going to come in at. So you have to be freaking dialed on a camera. You have to be dialed with all the gadgets and gadgets, and you have to freaking just know how to do it and have done it. And Logan has done that for us for the last 6 years. He's never missed anything. Like there might have been some footage lost here or there or whatever, but he's always been able to capture the moments. And that's what makes him, I would say, that one of the best in the business at it. Same with Maddie.
Yeah, and even in those moments, those moments are so crucial that I would say, importance is, I would rather just have audio of what happened. Like if the video was screwed up, foggy lens, shutter speed too slow, anything, as long as you even just have that audio. So what happened was, I'm in this moment. I've been here before. It's not my first time at the Pro Bowl. Been here before. Let me range for you. And I do this thing where I have this
Logan's
cadence.
a long snapper going into the Pro Bowl, and he decides, hey, listen, let me play quarterback too.
You hike the ball. And I have this cadence where I have a number one rule, and I told Maddie this when he came on. I tell a lot of people this. Don't use your eyes. Don't use binos, because that's not what the product's going to be. The product is going to be whatever is happening on that screen. You have Zoom capabilities. You have all of this. Watch that moment, but watch it through the screen. Watch it how the viewer is going to watch it. That's always my number one rule. But the majesty of this morning, the light, the oh my gosh, this is happening. This rumor bowl that we were on the fence about is marching his ass in on a string while the sun is rising. My brother is confident in his bow. I've seen him shoot his bow. I got lost in the moment. I got lost in the sauce. What happened is I thought I was recording when I wasn't, and I was recording when I thought I wasn't. So I just had skipped a beat where I wasn't paying attention to my media and captured it all. The lens saw everything really good.
You at
but
home
it wasn't recording.
might not so much. It's tough because, again, going back to what I said earlier, it's a team effort. Like going on a hunt and filming the hunts, it's a team effort. And I can be honest and tell you that him and Maddie do a phenomenal job every time we go out. And, me and Eric and Brian have dropped the ball doing our jobs. Like a lot of the time our job is the shooter, the hunter. And you guys have seen it over the years. Like the camera's been great, the shot's been great, and we just screwed up and missed the shot or hit it bad. And it's a team effort. And, Logie's done this one time, and it's tough. He's taking it hard, obviously. He's talked about all day, but it's part of it, man. It's part of the realness of what we do. Like, I think a lot of people in the TV world, back when TV was important, would go and reenact that. I don't know how you would do that, but it's what it is, man. It sucks because it was a phenomenal morning, and we still, guys, listen, you're going to watch the video and be like, what are you talking about? I saw everything. But Logan's very hard on himself. He's hard on his craft. He's very good at his craft. He's perfected it over the years, and that's why, originally we brought him on. We knew he was phenomenal at what he did, and he's just gotten better. Every year he's gotten better. I would put, in my opinion, honest opinion, I watch a lot of YouTube videos. I watch all the YouTube videos. A lot of YouTubers, people that create YouTube, like, I don't watch a lot of videos. I'm like, dude, I watch all of them because I love them. That's why I do YouTube. I love doing YouTube. I love watching other people do YouTube. I watch all the hunting videos that are released. Everybody that you guys have watched, I've watched. I would put Logan and Matt, our production team, up against anybody and say these guys create some of the best content that you can find. And I will stand behind that. And so, again, Logan's being very hard on himself. He missed a small window of what happened, and, it does suck. There's nothing I can say that's going to make him feel better. I told him this earlier. He was being hard on himself. I go, listen, I can tell you 100 different things. None of it's going to make you feel better because you're harder on yourself than I ever will be. So I'm just going to poke fun at you the whole time.
Yeah.
And that's what I've done.
I've done a lot of things in my life. And it just sucks, man, because you did your job.
I feel like he's putting it on me because he's like, you finally did your job so well.
That's not what I'm saying, dude. You showed up to the game,
but
you showed up stretched out, been here before. You showed up and you performed like ice cold, dude.
But there's been times where you showed up stretched out, performed, and me and Brian and Eric just didn't show up.
That doesn't hurt as bad for me, though.
Yeah, I know, but it's still part of it. It's a team effort. Like, me making a good shot on a bugling bull is just as important as you getting the shot and then you, like, going and cutting that film. Like, It's all part of it. It is all part of it. We're a team. That's one thing I would say about the Hush crew is, man, we're a team, and we love each other as much as anybody ever will, and we want to see success for everyone individually, but as a whole, we all care about the viewer at home, and that's why it's been really hard on Logan. I think today is, he's finally seen a little hiccup in his game, and it's going to happen. And it happens to everyone. It happened to Maddie. Like, you guys don't even know this, but it happened to Maddie a little bit last year. First hunt out of the gate, he made a mistake, and I just told him, I'm like, hey man, let's just look at it like a learning experience, like we all should. How are we going to be better moving forward? Maddie came up with a bunch of ideas that would make it better, make it that problem never happen again, and we're good.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think there's a situation that you need to be like, oh, I need to do this better because you've always done it. It was just a simple mistake. It was a simple mistake. You got caught up in the moment, which the moment was pretty rad.
It was
pretty rad.
Priceless. And, yeah, I guess going back, this is maybe reminiscent of the heartbreak you guys feel if you don't perform in the moment. And I understand that now.
There's been, dude, even before we brought you on, there was a season, I can tell you, of numerous opportunities we had as guys in front of the camera, and every time it happened, we made some serious mistakes. And every time it happened, I remember I was in tears one night, and our camera guy at the time, he was like, dude, like, it's fine, what's the matter? I'm like, this is such a team effort that when you make a mistake, you feel like you let the whole team down. And I've done it numerous times, and I'll probably continue to do it on occasion. Same with you. Like, I get it. It's fine. It's just a learning experience to move on, be better. Like, when I've missed a shot in the past, like, I've taken it to heart and been like, okay, why did I miss that shot? I got rushed. I got too caught up in the moment. I wasn't dialed, like, whatever it might be, and then I just get better because of it.
Yeah.
And that's all we can do. That's like, everyone's going to make mistakes. I don't care what you're doing in life. You're going to make a mistake. You're going to think what you're doing is right. You're going to make a call. Being a parent's very similar to this. You're going to be like, oh, I think I know what to tell my kid in this situation. You tell your kid that, and then a week later you're like, man, that was dumb. Shouldn't have said that. Shouldn't have done that as a parent. It's just part of, like, you know, we all think that, you know, just because we're older, getting older. We were talking about this the other day before any of this happened. We were talking about growing up and becoming a dad and all this, and it's like, yeah, you just, like, always look at your parents, you know, and you just think, like, oh, they've hit this spot in their life. They know everything. They, you know, they've matured and everything. And now we're there, and we're like, when do we hit that spot again?
Yeah.
When do you know everything?
Yeah. Yeah.
It's all about perspective and thinking that, you know, there's going to be this one day where you're just like, aha, I know everything. And it's just, it's not the truth. You're always learning.
Yeah. Well, it's definitely a learning experience for me, man. Like, something so simple as everything's right, filming him good, you're looking good. Damn, nice shot, dude. Right in the heart, man. And then just not hitting the red freaking button.
I bet the camera would be like, dude, Logan, like, I know I wasn't, like, doing my job, but, you know, you pointed the camera in the right direction. It was cool.
Yeah. All in all, I just want a public apology to you guys.
I'm good with it, man. I told you after it happened, I said, don't let this ruin the experience. Like, it sucks. It is a takeaway, but at the same time, like, let's not let it, like affect us in a negative way. We'll just learn from it and be better. And, you know, I have no stress about it because I know, like, this is something that's not in your wheelhouse to do it. But I think you have to use it as a positive thing. Be like, okay, that was really dumb. That was a simple thing I messed up on. You're going to think about that every time it happens now. Like, every time you're in that moment, you're going to be like, boom, like, first thing, red light. I will say this. Let's move on from this. You okay with that?
Yeah.
This has been an amazing experience. I can't wait for you guys to watch this video. You're going to watch the video and be like, Logan, you're crazy. I don't know what you're talking about, because Logan captured some amazing stuff. We got the shot. Got one of the shots, we'll say that. And it was a special day. I killed the biggest Shiars moose I've ever seen in my whole entire life with my bow, and it was pretty cool because I just have a lot of history with watch my dad do it, and then my daughter having a moose tag a couple of years ago, and just thinking, like, when will that be my time? You know, like, when will I get a chance? You know, and whenever would be great. And I was lucky to draw it this year, and it's, even though it's over first day, it's been fun having my boys out to scout with me and set trail cameras, and having Logan out here, and just how it went down. It was awesome. And this was a big part of my season this year. I really planned everything around the moose hunt, and, you know, I'm not trying to take away from anything else, but I was like, really like, hey, I'll be there if I have to be, but, like, I'm going to put, you know, a lot of my time and effort into this once in a lifetime tag. And now it's over. Now we can pour a bunch of our heart and soul into other things, other hunts, help other people out. But I will tell you this, Logan. I think it's very valid to understand that when you make a mistake, you are harder on yourself than anybody else will be. And that's like the biggest key to take away. Like, I'm not giving you as hard a time as you're taking from yourself, right?
Yeah.
But talking to Eric and Brian earlier, which when we got into service, I stepped away to talk to those guys about what happened. We always talk as a team about how can we help make this experience like a learning experience for not just Logan, but for everybody. And so we have some hunts coming up. Our next hunt is, like I said, I was planning on doing this for the next 2 weeks, and then we're going to go up to northern Idaho to hunt elk. And on the 13th or 14th, we're leaving to go hunt with our good buddies at Drift West. Should be a phenomenal hunt. I'm super stoked about it. I haven't killed a bull with my bow for a long time, but the thing we talked about with me and Brian and Eric earlier was there has to be even something else that happens outside of like you being hard on yourself to really have that stick. And what we decided was you probably shouldn't be the camera guy in that hunt, but you should be the dude in front of the camera with your bow in hand on that elk hunt. I'll run the camera and I won't double tap.
That's awesome, man. Oh, man.
I've never seen this guy so emotional. He's getting me emotional. So I have this hunt with good buddies at Drift West. They lease a bunch of property up in McCall, Idaho. And we did a bear hunt with them this year. We're looking at doing some like hunt giveaways with them, but they invited me and Logan up on this hunt. And they're like, man, this place we call it Jurassic Park. These bulls freaking rage. Like they bugle, they come in, they're like they told us basically like we're just like your first like dry earth because you're gonna look like an elk and that's all that's up here is just elk. And they scream, it's gonna be awesome. And I was like, hell yeah, I'm stoked on that. And Logie's never killed a bull elk with his bow.
It's always been my dream, dude.
And so, just so you know, like, this has been the plan from day one. I just wanted to make the time right, and I feel like you're at a low where I need to bring you up out of that, because it's all a roller coaster. Like, we talk about elk hunts for roller coasters, life's a roller coaster. So, you have 13 days to get your ass ready to kill a bull elk with your brand new Hoyt VTM, and I'm going to run the camera, and I promise you guys... I might mess up way more than Logan did, but I'm going to do my best running the camera. So that's what you have to look forward to. So
you guys, I'm sorry I'm getting so emotional. It's just pretty dang cool to work for a company that, you can go and fumble on your own end zone like that, and then they feel bad. They feel bad, and they want to pick you up. That's speechless. Make sure you're recording it, dude. That's all I can say.
My plan is to get the biggest batteries I possibly can.
Holy cow.
And just hit record the morning we leave and just carry the camera around.
How many times have I said I've told you, dude, I'm stoked for your moose hunt, but I'm so excited to film you on that hunt.
I know, dude. I know.
I appreciate it, dude.
Well, you deserve it. You earned it. We got Maddie a badass tag this year to tell him thanks for his 2 years of service, and wanted to do the same for your 6 years of service. Is just tell you like how much we appreciate you. It was unfortunate that happened today, but it's just not your character, and we're not worried about it moving on. We just want you to know that we love and appreciate everything you've done for our business, and I can't wait to go and film you kill a freaking raging bull elk.
I'm hunting bull elk with my bow. Are you kidding me? This is real.
You better perform as well as I did this morning.
Gosh, man, I need to take notes. We don't want to spoil the details for you, but I've never been more proud of my big brother as I was this morning. That's why I was so hard on myself, is because, dude, you not only did you show up, you showed up with a pimp cane in your hand, and you put that thing on the ground, and you were ice cold both shots.
Can I say I was hitting hose with it, or was that bad? You can't say that. You said pimp cane. I just looked at like hoe moves. Like there was hoe moves.
I'd say holy cow.
Holy cow.
I can't even. I forgot about what I did. I'm so excited.
So we're gonna end this podcast now because Logan's crying and being a boob.
Sorry, you guys.
But I'm stoked. We have it's so early in the season, man. It's honestly August 30th. September hasn't even started yet, and we have so many things coming down the pipe. I know for me, man, I've hunted so much in my life that my biggest thrill in life anymore in the hunting aspect is just being able to take somebody out and watching them experience something for the first time. I just got back from a trip with my son, my good buddy Trent. I told you earlier, from born and raised, went to Alaska, took our kids, they shot caribou, got to experience Alaska for their first time, and that was just awesome, amazing. Then this happened, this hunt, and now moving forward, like, I just want to help and assist and be there for my guys, my people, my kids, and whoever else has tags. Like, that's going to be the rest of my season. Is I've got enough meat in the freezer to feed my family for the next 12 months, and so let's go help Logie do the same. And I've got some really cool hunts coming down with my kids and some other people that I'm excited to show you guys. And likewise for Eric and Brian, we got a lot of cool things coming down this season, and it's going to be the best season yet, folks. Trust me.
Well, thanks, man. Love you, brother. And, I'm sorry I kind of fumbled today, but just with that said, and I've been really hard on myself, if future me could come to me and say, hey, man, that day never happened, you're going to kill a bull later in the season, I wouldn't trade it for what happened this morning.
Yeah, pretty phenomenal day. It was one of the best days I've had out hunting just because it was so fun, and with you, which I always appreciate and enjoy. I love having you by my side, even if you screw up immensely. Like, I would take you over anybody else. And so, besides Maddie, I love Maddie too. But anyways, guys, thanks for watching. We're trying to stay consistent with these podcasts. We're trying to film them now. Like, we're out in the field. Tell us if you guys like that, or we could wait until we got back to the shop to do them. I just think, like, the realness is what we've always tried to capture through our content, and that's what we're trying to do with this as well. So thanks for watching, guys. We will be back next week. But good luck this year, guys. It's fall. You only get so many opening days. Go and take advantage of them.
Thanks for listening, you guys. If you could take one takeaway from this podcast, it's not that I screwed up. It's that I'm hunting bull elk with my bow. That's the takeaway.
Yeah. Suck butt.
Woo!
Holy cow, dude. For real, for real? I thought, yeah, for real, for real.